So if everybody wants to come little further, so that we can, if it is okay. So thank you very much for coming. It was in your enthusiasm that we are having this Bhakti Vriksha today. Yeah, I was talking with few devotees yesterday, and one suggestion was this: why not have it on Saturday? So I said it's good. So hopefully it will work for us today. I know a lot of things everybody has to do on Saturday, but hopefully we will be able to finish this quickly and continue our whatever things we want to do. So we'll continue from where we left. We are at chapter 7. Knowledge of the Absolute. And so how we came here, right? If you remember the last chapter, Dhyana Yoga, right? In that Krishna mentioned that what is the ultimate or the best yogi. The ultimate or best yogi is who is continuously remembering Krishna. Now in 7.1 or chapter 7, Krishna himself enthusiastically telling that what is the best way or how we can remember Krishna. Right? That is what the first verse is. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Now hear, O son of Pratha, now by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt." And then last week we saw verse 2nd and 3rd, the importance of this information or importance to getting connected to Krishna. Right? Krishna, 1 minute. Krishna, Ishan, Haribol, you have to keep quiet, guys. Yeah, sorry. Now in this second chapter, second verse and third verse, we saw how important it is. Also we saw that how we shouldn't try to understand Krishna. Right? Last week we gave some examples. Yeah? One of the things we were discussing was, asking question is best. That is what Prabhupada also suggested us, that you humbly ask questions to understand, because blind following is not good. But once you have that understanding, once you have that faith, then unnecessary scrutinizing more and more will not be helpful. So once you have a trust, then you build on that trust by accepting, by practicing. Right? So I gave an example of cooking. Right? If somebody is the best cook, then once he knows that, then he or she, then they can enjoy cooking. But if they are thinking more of that only, oh, now if somebody else cooked and they say, oh no, isme aur thoda sa namak chahiye, salt chahiye, then this is missing, that is missing. If we do more analysis, then we will not be able to have the taste of that food. So same thing here. We will not be having experience of Krishna if we are going unnecessarily more and more scrutinizingly to check unwanted things. Right? Is it clear? Okay. Now we'll go to verse 4 and onwards, and very important in this, because if you see the chapter, knowledge of Absolute. Right? Now information about Krishna is given. Maybe I will start with one simple question. Many times what happens, we have experience that we go through, for example, if we are going through, one road that every day you're driving that road, going to office or going to somewhere every day, and then all of a sudden, you see one particular place, one particular, mall or one particular shop you see, and then you notice it, and then you start noticing it more and more, that every time. But for years you will travel from that or drive from that place, but you don't notice. But then somebody tells you, or you read somewhere, or you somehow try to find out, then you say, oh, this is there, I never saw this. For years I am traveling, or months I am going from this road, I never saw this. And then afterwards, every day you see that. Right? Do you have that experience? Any similar experiences anybody has? Anybody wants to share? That you always went through that, or anything, even in a house, you always, or even in reading, many times we just read, but it doesn't click, and then suddenly one day you see, oh, I am reading this every day, but still I didn't understand. Now I am understanding. Yes. You want to talk? Yeah.
That a person has certain quality, then at some point somebody points it out, or I realize it on my own, and then I can see that quality clearly in that person.
And then you feel that, oh, I didn't see this. This
See
was
this
always
was
there,
always
but I
there,
didn't see it.
Yeah, like it could be
Very-
a colleague or a family member.
Very nice example. Yeah, very nice. Anybody else want to share? That it is already there, but we don't realize. And once we realize, then always we think about that. So what was difference between the first, when you don't know, and then second, when you know? What is the difference, Hare Krishna? What is the difference? Hare Krishna. Now we have a knowledge, right? Once you have knowledge, then you will see that. You will try to experience that. You will try to notice it. Isn't it? So what is important? If something we want to meditate, if something we want to notice, what is important? The knowledge is important, right? So in previous chapter, it was told that Krishna, we have to remember Krishna always. So how you will remember Krishna always? If you have knowledge about him, right? And that is this chapter. This chapter is telling about Krishna, and who is telling? So for example, if you know some person, right, or something, who will be the best person to tell about that? Say if somebody created some machinery, right? Who will be the best? The person who has done. Or if you want to know about a person, then the person itself is the best to know about that, right? So here Krishna himself is telling. So Krishna, we can learn this from Krishna, as well as we can learn from Krishna's associates. If you want to know, say, I give you this example few times, president. If you want to know about president, right, it's the best thing is to get information from himself, if you want to know personal information, or his family members, right, his associates, his close associates. So same thing here, Krishna himself is telling now. That's the reason this chapter is very, very important. And this verse also very important, which starts with material energy. So Krishna has so many things, so Krishna is starting with energies first. Right? So we'll read, please repeat after me. Chapter 7, verse 4. Bhumir apo nalo vayuha kham mano buddhir evacha ahankaram itiyam me भिन्न प्रकृतिर अष्टधा भूमिर अपो नलो वायुः खम मनो बुद्धिर एव च अहंकार इति यम मे भिन्न प्रकृतिर अष्टधा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego, all together, these 8 constitute my separate material energies. Sorry, my separated material energies. So purport, anybody wants to read?
The science of God analyzes the constitutional expression of
want to put the mic? Sorry, Prabhu. Yeah, that was one of the suggestions by devotees.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord in his different Purusha incarnations, that is expansions, as described in the Narad Pancharatra, one of the Satvata Tantras. Vishnostu trini rupani purushakyani atho viduhu ekam tu mahatah srastra dvitiyam tva andasamstitam tritiyam sarvabhutastham tani jnatva vimuchyate. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as the Mahatattva. The second, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversity in each of them. The third, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading supersoul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these three Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement.
Yeah, please continue.
The material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. All the activities of the material world are directed by these three Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna. These Purushas are called incarnations. Generally, one who does not know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities and that the living entities are the Purushas, the causes, controllers and enjoyers of material energy. According to the Bhagavad Gita, this atheistic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated that Krishna is the original cause of the material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this.
I just wanted to add now here, right? So if you see, very important here. Many times we have this question of material energy, how material creation works. So if you see, we may want to tell the kids to keep quiet. Sorry, Prabhu. Okay. So if you go back in purport after the Satvata Tantra, the meaning is given. So what happens? How the material creation happens? Right? So there is a Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is lying in the casual ocean. Right? And from his body, all the, like for example, if you go in water, we don't see that much, but you will see all, we have a pores on our body and our nostril. From everywhere, then the bubbles can come, and those bubbles are actually each universes. These bubbles are each universes, not each planet, each universes. Right? From Mahavishnu's body it is coming. So those who are joining now, it's 4th verse, chapter 7. Yeah. Now Krishna is telling about himself, and we just covered initially that why this knowledge is important. Because in previous chapter, I'm just 2 minutes wrap up I'll do, is previous chapter we saw Krishna is telling that best yogi is who is always remembering him. So how we can remember a person? If we know about that person, about the qualities of the person, about the greatness of person, then we can remember the person again and again, always. In the 4th verse, Krishna is telling about is first started telling about himself, about his energy. First he is starting with material energy. Yeah. Okay, so going back. Yeah.
The body of the Mahavishnu from which these universes are coming, that is material or spiritual?
Body of Mahavishnu, you're saying, or the bubbles?
The Vishnu from whom the bubbles are coming.
The Vishnu. Mahavishnu is a Purusha. He is an incarnation of Lord.
Okay. So, but those bubbles are coming into the material world, so they are made of matter. Right?
Yes.
And the body of that particular form of Vishnu, is that also matter or is
no, that is spiritual. That is actually Krishna himself, his incarnation. Krishna's incarnation.
How is it that these material bubbles are coming from spiritual bodies?
Right, we will go. Very nice question. Yeah, we will go through that. How many pores are there on Mahavishnu's body? No. Above that. Above that. Huh? No, I say how many. So I am saying how many pores are there. So Mataji was telling infinite. I said, yeah, that is also limited. Infinite is also limited. I said. Yeah, yeah.
These kind of questions, Prabhu, like these technical questions. So going back to the first point you made when you started the class. So Prabhupada said that once you have faith, then you should not unnecessarily dig up these things.
Correct.
So does it fall into that category? Like once you have a little bit of faith, should we still continue asking these kind of questions, or it's a bad idea?
I'll give an example, right? So that may be clear, right? First thing is just to give direct answer. So everybody understood the question. That last time I was telling that how much, we shouldn't, what do you call, we just, we have to stop ourselves somewhere so that we can experience things. Right? Otherwise what will happen, that we are continuously asking question after question, and which is not bad. I'm not telling don't ask questions. What I'm telling is we have to build on that. Right? So I'll give an example. Is, say for example, best example is, if one boy wants to give a girl something, so he will give, most of the time you will see rose will give. Now somebody will think that why should I give rose? Right? Why not X? Why not Y? Why not this? Why not that? Then that experience will be lost. Same thing, for example, we know lotus. Krishna likes lotus very much. Right? Okay, now we know that. So what we will do? How we will experience? By offering lotus to him. Right? Now if you ask why lotus? Why not something else? What is special about lotus? Which is also good, but you shouldn't stop. That is what I am saying. You experience that and continue also getting the knowledge. Otherwise what happens, somebody just, this is a jugglery of our mind, right? Last time I said, it's a ghost of our mind, which will ask question after question, right? Is it clear or it's still confusing? So, if it is confusing, just 1 minute, if it is confusing, you still ask questions. No harm in that. Right? Get convinced, for sure, because Prabhupada also mentioned very strongly that no blind following. Because what happens with blind following? What happens with blind following? Mob psychology, and then afterwards what will happen? You will lose the interest. If you are not convinced, you will be not following that. Okay. Yes, Mother. You want to ask?
Sometimes we know the answer, but just to hear the glories of holy name or Krishna, we still, sometimes from some Vaishnava we want, from his mouth we want to hear the glories or how he explains, because we ask for that.
No, which is if that is the motive, that is the consciousness, then very good, that we can do. But sometimes what happens, that line is very, very thin, right? The line when we are crossing. So sometimes what happens, then if we don't get the answer which we expect from that Vaishnava, we think, oh, he may not know. Oh, inko jyada malum nahi. Right? That can, because we already know, we heard from somebody and we are satisfied. Oh, beautiful answer, very nice. Now we are asking that to other person, and then that person is giving something different and we are not satisfied. Then in mind we can do aparadh, saying, no, inko jyada malum nahi, looks like he is not elevated. Right? A mind can play like that. I am not saying we are purposefully doing, but mind can play. So ask questions. I am not saying that. Don't ask. Yeah. So we were Mahavishnu, right? So Mahavishnu's body, then a lot of bubbles come, and each bubble is a universe, and in that bubble, then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters. Once Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters, then the creation starts. Then the varieties, that is what Prabhupada has mentioned, right? The second Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Garbha is basically you from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's, from navel, then the lotus comes on the and top of the lotus is Brahma, right? Brahma Loka or Brahma. And then whole Brahma actually creates the material universe. Right? So this is, and then the last expansion of this material creation is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Kshira means each anu. Right? So Kshirodakshaya Vishnu means this Vishnu enters in each and every atom in this whole material universe. That's the reason if you see, if we are coming from science background, so you see that electrons and protons, so they have some energy, right? That energy, the source of that energy is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, no, Mataji. Yes.
I was thinking, a virus is also has a soul in
Yeah.
there. Obviously, somebody.
Real virus, you are saying, not we are software people, so not the software virus, real virus, you are
A
saying.
real
Yes,
virus,
correct,
bacteria, they are like souls that were incarnating like bacteria.
correct.
Uh,
Everything. And it's not silly, actually it's good question, and question we should ask more. Only thing is we should experience, we should go to the next level. That is what I was telling. Okay. So everybody is clear about this, right? Now we'll go to the verse, or should we? No, let's complete the purport. Right? Somebody wants to read further the ingredients of material manifestations.
The ingredients of material manifestation are separated energies of the Lord. Even the Brahma Jyotir, which is the ultimate goal of impersonalists, is a spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyotir as there are in the Vaikuntha Loka, and the impersonalists accept this Brahma Jyoti as the ultimate and eternal goal. The Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, all-pervasive aspect of Shodhai Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, the factual absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead Krishna. He is the complete energetic person, and he possesses different separated and eternal energies.
Internal energies. Okay, very
In
good.
the material energy,
So one point I wanted to say. So we talked about Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So here Prabhupada is saying that Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, all-pervasive aspect of the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So we said in atoms also go, and then in the soul, with the soul also there is Paramatma. Okay? With Atma. Please continue.
in the material energy, the principal manifestations are 8 as above mentioned. Out of these, the first 5 manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are called 5 gigantic creations or the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more. But the other 3 items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the materialists. The philosophers who deal with mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they do not know the ultimate source Krishna. The false ego, I am, and it is mine, which constitutes the basic principle of material existence, includes 10 sense organs for material activities. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the Mahat Tattva. Therefore, from the 8 separated energies of the Lord are manifest the 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya atheist philosophy. They are originally offshoots from Krishna's energy and are separated from him. But atheists, Sankhya philosophers, with the truest fund of knowledge, do not
know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation of external energy of Krishna as it is described in Bhagavad Gita.
Very nice. So in one purport only Prabhupada gives so much information, infused with so much information. So let's try to get this. Now if you understand, Krishna is telling that this is my apara Shakti, right? External energy or inferior energy. Why is it inferior? Because there is superior energy to that, and next two verses are telling about the superior energy. Also, if you see another thing, important thing in the translation, if you read, Krishna says, my separated material energies. So first he is saying my energies. Right? Krishna is specifically saying, yes, these are my energies. See, that is what is the issue most of the time. Materialist or scientist, they know that all these are energies. Right? For example, what are the 8 energies? What if 5 and then 5 Panchabhutas and then 3 subtle energies. So what are the 5? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Right? These are the 5. So even scientists know that this is and these are energies, but they don't know this is Krishna's energy. So they are missing that part of Krishna, right? And this will answer Suhasbu your question also. So let's try to understand. Now everybody knows ocean. Ocean is so big, right? Huge volume. So how this is coming? How the ocean water is coming? What Prabhupada is saying, Prabhupada is giving very nice example. So he is saying that let's take an example. Our body. We also perspire, perspiration comes, and how much water comes? Maybe a 1 ounce little bit water comes. From our body, from a living matter, some living thing, a matter is coming, water is coming. So same thing to understand is from Krishna's body. This whole ocean is perspiration of Krishna. That's the reason it is so vast. Right? Everybody knows the cycle of, what we learn in science, right? How it happens. But even science will not be able to explain that how God created. Everybody knows it started with that. But they will not be able to explain that this much water, this amount of water will not be able to create like that. Right? So it is like from living entity only matter comes. It is not other way. That from matter living entity is coming. So from Krishna, the perspiration and the ocean is coming. Right? From Mahavishnu, your question was, so Mahavishnu only creating the material world. Got it?
Everything in the spiritual world, everything is much bigger, like gigantic, than the size of the material world. A person in the spiritual world compared to the person in material world is much taller. Like,
Yes, it is. But it doesn't go that way that everything is much bigger and much. Yeah, whatever is opulent, right? That opulence is there. Then everything is full size, big. Everything is,
I saw in
opulent.
back of the Godhead magazine one day, they were measuring the size of a Shiva, the same size of a mountain. I don't know if
No, I didn't.
that
Yeah,
is
I didn't see that.
right.
Yeah.
That they were comparing the size of Lord Shiva sitting like that, meditating with the size of a mountain.
Right.
Mount Meru, they said. And they were comparing the dimensions of the
Dimensions. Okay. Yeah, they are definitely much bigger than what we can conceive. Yeah, because for example, Mahavishnu itself we are not able to conceive, right? What we are saying, the whole universe, right, is just one, bubble from his one of the four. Right? So it's so huge. Yeah.
They are very opulent means like Krishna is all the 6 opulence are in Krishna. Are they the people in spiritual world are rich in all those kinds of opulences like knowledge, beauty, wealth, fame, renunciation, like all. Those are
No, yeah,
those,
actually not like that. But Krishna has everything, right? And for serving him, they are having everything. So their main aim is to serve them. So whatever is needed to serve him. So for example, in the temple we do that, right? Whatever we want to give 100% more than 100%. Same thing there. So opulence automatically comes if you are serving Krishna. Only interesting fact about the spiritual world is many, but one is everything is live. Everything is conscious. So what does that mean? Okay. Even the stones have a consciousness there. Here also stone has, but that consciousness is almost dead, very less, almost nil. Right? But there the stone also thinks, oh, Krishna will come. Now he will step on me. Yeah, I will be satisfied. Right? The mukut of Radharani will think, oh, this is, I don't want her to be that heavy, so I'll be myself light. Our Guru Maharaj told one story. Even the pillow, right? Krishna's pillow has consciousness. Right? So, I think I don't remember exactly who, but when Krishna was sleeping, and then Krishna's one of eternal servant and one of the gopi, and she came and saw that the pillow is not at Krishna's head, at Krishna's lotus feet. Then she actually thought that another Sakhi, another Manjari, forgot to keep the pillow correctly to Krishna's head. On the other side it is. Right? Krishna is not there, so it's other side. She again rectifies it. After some time, she again sees that pillow is again at the lotus feet, right? Towards the feet. So she does couple of times like that, and then actually she realizes that the pillow actually tells that I don't want to be at the head of Krishna, I want to be at the lotus feet of Krishna. So even the material things what we feel, right, those are also conscious then. They want to serve Krishna. Okay, so we'll move forward. So that is what. Now another thing is mentioned here is my separated materially. So what is separated? Very simple English, right? Separated means they are away or detached from Krishna. Right? So why Krishna says that is separated energy? Why Krishna says that is separated energy? Inferior is fine, but why it is separated? We cannot pursue Krishna directly there. Right? Krishna has given that, okay, run this like this. That's the reason it is separated energy. Right? But does that mean it is from Krishna's perspective? Right? Krishna is supreme. Then supreme means all energies will be same. Because he is supreme. From our perspective, we are saying, okay, this is inferior versus superior energy. Right? Why inferior? Because matter of its own, it cannot do anything. There should be some life, there should be some another energy which will run everything. Right? So what constitutes of matter? Right? Earth, then water, fire, air, ether. All these sequence is also important. Why important? Because the one is much stronger than the previous one. Okay? Or much finer than the previous one. Let's take an example of first is earth and second is water. So water is finer than earth. Earth cannot move. Water can easily move, flow. Finer than that is fire. Finer than that is air. Finer than that is ether. So much finer than other. Right? So what it is? If it is finer, then it is much difficult to control, isn't it? For example, you can easily control water, right, comparatively. But if fire is there, it's much difficult to control. Do we agree? Right? So we need to understand this. Right? So what is the finest in this? What is the finest in this? Ether, and then go further because we have 8. Mind, intelligence and false ego. So the finest of this all is false ego. So what can we do? Yeah, how we will do that? By surrendering. That's it. One way is to get rid of it. Right? How we will get rid of it? Can we get rid of it first? Let's see. Purifying it, correct. So what acharyas are saying, Mahaprabhu's whole mission is that, right? You cannot get rid of it, but you can purify it. Right? How you will purify it? Yeah, real position is servant of Krishna. Right. So how we will purify? The thing is given is chanting. Yeah, chanting Mahamantra will purify this. But what we need to do? Along with chanting, because our chanting is not pure, we want to go to that. So we have to include another aspect with chanting is what? With service. Because the more you serve, more you will get mercy, more you will chant purely. So serving is also important. That's the reason each and every opportunity what we get to serve, we should serve. To temple, to Bhakti Vriksha, to Sangha, to each other, we should do that. Right? Do we agree? Even if it is a small, big, we should be able to do that. Let's take an example. Now today, right, while coming here, everybody must have cleaned the snow nicely. Spent maybe hour or so, right? Everybody's back, hand, everything is gone. Right? But that you will directly get benefit if your consciousness was, yes, I wanted to go to hear more about Krishna. I want to go to Bhakti Vriksha. I want to do this. I want to serve devotees. Matajis might have cooked few things. Right? You will directly get purified. So your action is purifying. How it is purifying? Because you got Krishna in between. Directly you get benefit of that. Same action your neighbors, others are doing. They will not be getting this, but you will be getting this. Right? Because you are doing with a consciousness, you are bringing Krishna in center and doing. If you have not done, then you should do next time. Right? You will get complete benefit. In fact, each and everything in the material world, you will be able to do this way. We understood about false ego, how we can do that. So what about the thinner or thicker other things which are previous, right? Let's take material energy. So we have what? 5 gross energies. Then let's take the 24. Prabhupada has said 24. Right? Complete constitutes 24. So let's count. We covered this few months back. So 5. Then they have sense objects. 5. So let's take one by one. Right? What is the first one? Earth. So what is the sense objects with earth? Fragrance? Fragrance? Correct. These are the 5, one by one, what you do. So fire is basically form. Right? Everybody. So 5 gross energies, then sense objects. So 5 plus 10 plus 3 subtle senses. What are they? Mind, intelligence and false ego. So 13. Then we covered, if you remember, 5 Gyanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas. So knowledge acquiring senses 5 and 5 Karmendriya, working senses. So 23 plus 10 is, 13 plus 10 is 23. And then Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is basically if everything dissolves, this is basically base. What do you call? The base means in the in the food we make, right? And then we use that multiple, usually hotels they do, right? Stock, yeah, kind of stock which is used everywhere. So Mahat Tattva is actually that. So that is the base of everything. There is 24. So these are the 24 elements. Mahat Tattva. So he has that. So he, just to answer your question, right? He starts, he provides that. Once he provides that, then everything gets created. Right? Now each and everything in this can be purified for Krishna. How we will do that? How you will purify that? Same concept, same thing we will use. Right? Connect to Krishna. Krishna is telling these are separated energy. You connect to Krishna and then they will be spiritual. They will be superior energy. Isn't it? Let's take an example, earth. Right? So should we use that or no? Should we leave that? Oh no, this is inferior, this is not connected to Krishna, we will not use it. Everything is material, what do you see? Right? So first thing is, we will not be able to leave. Right? We will not be able to reject. Mayavadis say that, oh, everything is not real, unreal. Only real reality is Brahman. Right? I wrote that. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, they say. Right? So only Brahma is Satya. Everything else is Mithya, means false. But how it is false? If you can have it, you can see it. Right? So Acharyas, in Vaishnava Acharyas tell, it is not false, it is not unreal, it is temporary. It is Krishna's energy, so it is real, but it is temporary. Right? So now how we will be able to, now one question comes, okay, if it is temporary, should we get it attached or we shouldn't get it attached? Should we use it or we shouldn't use it? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati says that just do best use of bad bargain. Many times we think it is best bargain, but many times you can experience that some bargains you will not have what you expect. So what do? You just try to use that, whatever maximum capacity you can use. So we are anyway in the material world. So let's use the material world, the bad bargain, use its best purpose. What is the best purpose? To serve for Krishna. So earth, for example, in temple construction, you can use. Right? Here they don't construct with bricks, but in India, then you have bricks which is coming from earth. The bricks are, the earth is mixed with water, so water is also used for Krishna. The same thing, same bricks if I use for some other purpose will not be connected to Krishna. So each and everything we will be able to connect to Krishna. Right? How we will be able to connect to Krishna? Bringing Krishna. I am again telling, bringing Krishna in the center. But how we have to do? Many times we saw this example, right? The iron rod. Prabhupada gave this example many times. Iron rod. If you keep iron rod in the fire, what happens? It becomes warmer, 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 and then after some times it becomes so hot, it is as good as fire, or it is fire. That is what we say. Right? So what is happening here? If before it becoming that hot, if you remove, what happens? It will become cold. It will not have that characteristic of fire. Right? So what we need to do? We need to connect. We need to have Krishna in center. So whatever we do, whatever we use, if we use for Krishna, it will be spiritual. Right? So we have two options. We can stop here, and because the next three verses are together, actually, it's all superior energy, or and it will take little time. So if anybody has any questions, we can take those questions. You want to take microphone? And then maybe I was thinking, maybe we can chant afterwards. can do more chanting today if everybody is okay, or maybe instead of one we can do 2 rounds together. Is that okay? Okay. Yes, please.
Prabhuji, coming back to that point of even stones and pillows have consciousness in spiritual world. So, is it the case that living entities who go back to the spiritual world, they are desiring to be a stone or they're desiring to be a pillow, to serve Krishna in that particular form?
Correct.
It's very hard to grasp that. Why would they want to be not similar to their forms here? Like how
But here,
is it pre-decided that they are going to be, that their relationship with Krishna is in the form of a stone, or they desire to be that and then they acquire that form in the spiritual world?
that is correct. So they desired, because everybody has a desire. So everybody has multiple desire depending on how the inclination is. So using that, having that desire, they will be.
I read someday that Shukadev Goswami, in the material world, his form is like a parrot and his face is Radha.
Yes,
So
spiritual
Radha's
world. Yes.
parrot.
In Radharani's or Krishna's pastimes, yeah, he was a parrot. Shuka. Shuka means parrot. Correct. Yeah. In his pastimes also here, he was. Yeah. Here also. Yeah. Okay. So, any other things? Any other comments? Yes. Everything has a consciousness. So the question is whether does that mean that there is no non-living thing in spiritual world? Everything has a consciousness. That is what we need to understand there. And everything is trying to serve Krishna. There. Right? So yes, it's not easy to conceive. Right? It's difficult, but we will learn. We'll discuss. Okay. Yeah, is that okay? So we'll chant then. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.